Hi guys, and welcome back to Michelle James Designs. I am working today on these fun sweater pillows that I made for a friend for her housewarming gift. So basically I started with 3 sweaters that I got from the thrift store. So I'm going to show you guys how I did the teal one. So this is the sweater and it's kind of a wide sweater, so I was able to use this 16 by 16 pillow form. And I basically just cut the sides and the top 1 inch bigger than the form so that I could have some seam allowances. So I used my ruler, and I'm going to use that seam on the other side as one of my seams, so I only have to stitch 3 seams. Now I couldn't do that on all 3 sweaters, but I was able to do it on this one. So basically I'm just measuring over so that I can get a 17 by 17 inch square. And then I just rough cut this. It doesn't have to be perfect at all. And I just cut all the way up and then all the way over. And once I got to like the armpit here, and I had to kind of trim up a little bit on that side for that corner. And basically I did this with all 3 sweaters. Some of the sweaters have designs down the front that were really cool, so I wanted those to be like front and center. So that's how I cut my fabric, was just so that that would show. So now I'm going to stitch around these edges. And I'm going to leave this big gap at the bottom so that I can turn it around and add the pillow form. So basically I have to turn it right sides together to be able to stitch. Okay, so now I'm just gonna start here and stitch all the way around, and then I'll have to stitch one little part on the bottom because that one side is already done. Excuse me. So now it's stitched, so I'm going to turn it around and get my right sides out again. Just get those corners squared off. Once that's done, I can add my pillow form. Excuse me, I've had this cough and it just won't go away. Okay, so I'm just going to stuff this pillow form in here. Usually I like to make envelope pillows where I can remove the outer part to wash it. These are not going to be this way. These will be stitched in. So you have to wash the whole pillow or just spot clean it, I guess. So now I'm just going to tuck these in, and then I'm going to just do a whip stitch right along that area to close it off. And then I'm going to add these 2 buttons. I'm going to do one on the front and one on the back. I'm going to push it together, pull it tight so it looks like it has a little indent. So this is the second button. I've already put one on the other side. There it is. So I just stitched it on there like you would normally a button. Now when I put the second one on, I've got it kind of secure. Well, I'll get it kind of secure. And then when I have kind of a longer needle that I'm using, and I'm going to push all the way through. Don't let go of your needle or you will lose it inside your pillow. And then this was the hardest part, was finding the hole in the button to get that needle to come back through. So sometimes you kind of have to lift the button and look to see where your needle is coming out. But once you get it, hold on to it tight, pull it through. And then I just kept doing this all the way through from button to button until it was secure enough. . Yeah, see, that was the hardest part, is getting that thread through in the right spot. But yep, just keep going until your button is secure. There could be an easier way to do it, but I don't know how that is, so this is the way I did it. Once I had it to where I thought it was tight enough and secure enough, then I just kind of put my needle underneath the button and grab some fabric so that I could knot the thread. And then to make it even more secure, I cut that, left as much thread as I could, and then knotted it a couple of times. And I just trimmed off those little threads and kind of tucked them under the button. And that came out really cute. For the other clothes, I wanted to use these wood buttons. They're so bright. Like they were just a plain wood, but they do have a nice little leaf design. So I'm using this grunge paint from Dixie Belle. It's a gray grunge. So I painted it on both sides. It's hard to see in the video. I painted on it, did need 2 coats, but once it was all painted on, it's kind of like a stain. So then I just wiped it off with a paper towel. And I did all of them with 2 coats of that. Okay, so here's my gray sweater. So I'm going to add some of those wood buttons. So I've only stitched 3 sides, so this side is still open. So I'm going to fold this over and pin it down. And I thought that the buttons would be enough to hold this down, but it wasn't. So you'll see a little bit later that I do end up stitching along the edge of this to hold it down tight. And the buttons are just decoration. They're not going to be buttoning anything together. So once I got that folded down the way I liked it, then I was able to take those buttons that I just stained and stitch them on. So I just started with a stitch on the fabric and then was able to place the button where I wanted it. You just kind of have to work it because you're not going all the way through to the back, just on the top. And just kept going until it was tight enough and secure enough. Then I just did the knot. Yeah, so there's, I stitched it all down, so I'll pull that down so you can see it doesn't come up anymore. And I've added the other buttons. Just need to finish that third one. And then this sweater will be done. Sweater pillow. They're so cute and they're very, very fun to put out at winter time. Okay, so that one's done. And then the last one I want to show you is the cream colored or the white pillow. And it's more of like the lumbar shape. So again, I did just the 3 sides and I didn't have to stitch anything because I'm going to pin this. I'm going to kind of push that pillow form in and get this pinned so that that whole bottom edge, that would be the bottom of the sweater, is going to be used for kind of a decorative edge with the buttons. So I'm going to pin these together so the pillow form's out of the way. And then all I have to do is add my buttons. And with these, they're a little easier because I can go all the way through to the back side of the fabric as well. So I'm just going to start with that center button, get the bottom part lined up. And I started with the stitching inside so I didn't have a knot anywhere where it would show. And just like the other buttons, I just kept going until it was secure. I don't want those buttons falling off. And my kitty wanted to see what's going on. That's Chloe. I can barely see her. They like to help. Okay, and then once I got that one on, I got the other 2 on, and this pillow was complete. I just think they turned out really cute. And I gave them to my friend for her housewarming. And this is how they look in her home. They look so pretty, and she just loved them. Hope you guys like this project. So easy to make. So thanks so much for watching, and please subscribe. Thanks. See you next time.